What does it take for Africa to rise as a global powerhouse in science and technology? South African politician, educator, and academic NALEDI Pandor delivers a compelling call to action, revealing Africa's critical steps to finding its innovation potential. From building world-class research institutions to reversing brain drain and fostering collaboration with the African diaspora, her vision for Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, is nothing short of transformative.
As a politician, you can be challenged on assertions that you make, but on science and technology, do come and challenge, because I know what I'm speaking about. I don't know whether you've read a very interesting collection of African short stories. And the first one in that collection is called This is Experience Speaking.
If you care about Africa's future, economic growth, or global competitiveness, this is the video you can't afford to miss. NALEDI Pandor doesn't just talk about problems, she offers solutions and inspires action. Here, we would like to take a moment and thank you for supporting us and being a valued part of our strong community. And if you are not yet a member, we encourage you to join us and help build an even stronger community together. Let's get started. Africa's future depends on its ability to harness the power of science and technology to address its unique challenges and unlock its vast potential. With a population projected to reach 2.5 billion by 2050, the continent cannot afford to lag in innovation, research, and technological development. For Africa to secure its place as a global powerhouse, a scientific renaissance is not just desirable, it's essential.
That in much of our continent of Africa, there was inadequate science infrastructure and funding, and that while international cooperation enhanced performance, intra-African cooperation would be minimal and would thus be a brake on our advancement. Now, at that 95-96 budget vote debate, the budget for the department was around 2.8 billion rands, around 800 million US dollars, because I know in Africa you like dollars. Our budget has more than doubled in the 30 years, but it has not reached nor exceeded the target of at least 1% of GDP devoted to science and innovation. And this must be a concern for all of us. However, despite the inadequate funding, South Africa has marked important areas of progress. I believe this is largely due to excellent research universities, to science agencies, to skilled scientists.
From combating desertification and food insecurity to addressing public health crises, Africa faces challenges that require innovative, localized solutions. Science can drive breakthroughs in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and healthcare tailored to the needs of the continent. Africa's reliance on external expertise and imported technology perpetuates economic dependency. By developing its own scientific and technological capabilities, the continent can produce homegrown solutions, reduce its reliance on imports, and increase self-sufficiency. Science and innovation are engines of economic development. Investments in fields like biotechnology, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy can create jobs, spur entrepreneurship, and diversify African economies beyond raw material exports. The African brain drain has long deprived the continent of its brightest minds. A thriving scientific ecosystem, supported by strong institutions and funding, would give talented researchers and innovators a reason to stay and contribute to Africa's progress. Additionally, it would attract members of the African diaspora to return and invest in their homeland. Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now.
One of the areas of distress is the continuing inadequate continent-wide investment in science and technology. Lack of resources has led to us losing talent to the north. We need to establish modes of collaboration with the African diaspora and find ways of working more closely together. We also need to indicate to the diaspora that as Africa, we do have a plan, and that we wish them to work with us to advance Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. Our future as Africa is set out in this agenda and, of course, in the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. These instruments envision a prosperous, industrialized, productive Africa. We need science and innovation to come to life throughout Africa for these ambitions to be realized.
The success of initiatives like the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, depends on strong collaboration across borders. A united scientific effort could help African nations share resources, expertise, and innovations, fostering regional integration and collective progress. As the world moves toward knowledge-based economies, Africa must rise scientifically to secure its position in global markets. By leading in cutting-edge fields like clean energy, space exploration, and digital technologies, the continent can redefine its role from a passive participant to an active leader in the global economy. Africa is among the regions most vulnerable to climate change, yet it contributes the least to global emissions. Scientific advancements in renewable energy, water conservation, and climate-resilient agriculture are essential for the continent to mitigate and adapt to the effects of a warming planet. A rise in science and technology would leave a lasting legacy for future generations of Africans. It would provide a foundation for sustainable development, empower youth with education and opportunities, and establish Africa as a beacon of progress and resilience. For Africa to rise scientifically, it must prioritize investments in research, build world-class institutions, and foster collaboration across the continent and with the diaspora. As NALEDI Pandor aptly emphasized, the continent's ambitions for Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, rely on turning scientific dreams into reality. Africa's rise in science is not just a vision, it is the key to unlocking its full potential and securing a prosperous future for all.
It was indicated just at the beginning of our work in many of these areas as democratic South Africa. It was indicated that while South Africa had considerable scientific and technological capabilities, the new democratic government inherited a system which harbored considerable resistance to change and one that would operate under significant economic constraints. The report offered policy advice to the new democratic government, suggesting that it works to develop a science and technology system which would simultaneously support the emergence of an internationally competitive business sector and the enhanced provision of infrastructure, particularly for the disadvantaged. Infrastructure such as housing, clean water, and domestic electricity. The report argued that addressing the legacy of inequality had to be a key focus of government, supported by the science and technology system, and that a fundamental refocusing of existing science and technology activities and the novel inclusion of civil society in supporting and framing policy priorities in this sector would be critical. The idea of inclusion in some form was confirmed by the esteemed professors who presented at one of the early meetings of our Portfolio Committee of Science, Technology, Arts and Culture in the National Assembly in late 1994. These scientists were the leaders of the then Science Academy and were keen to alert members of Parliament to the importance of academic freedom to science and technology, and also keen to advance interest in disciplines that they believed politicians may not regard as relevant to development or to scientific advance. Among these that they named in the meeting were astronomy sciences, certain mathematical and physical science projects that they thought were important for government to support, and what they warned against, interestingly, which was too concentrated a focus on diversity. You can imagine the content of the professors.
She envisions a nation where innovation becomes the backbone of economic growth and social equality. An Africa where research institutions thrive, where young scientists see a future in their homeland, and where the country leads in cutting-edge fields like astronomy, biotechnology, and hydrogen energy. But why is there a deep focus on science?
Well, thank you, Program Director. Very difficult questions. I should begin by telling you that I was an average student, and so some of these are really tough. Firstly, Beulah, I want to just respond to the end part of your comment about the arts and so on, because I know that I was pilloried by the creative arts community. And I will be very wrong if I was not to say to South Africa, we have to build a science and engineering capacity in our country if we are to be modern and advanced. That doesn't in any way mean that humanities or the creative arts are not important. But it can't be assumed that when I say there should be more engineers, I mean we don't want an actor or an artist. I got these horrible letters, and I couldn't understand why there was this reaction. Because of the denial of access to science and mathematics for the majority in our country, from Verwoerd up to F.W. de Klerk, we lack capacity in critical science and technology disciplines. And we must acknowledge that and address it, while simultaneously pursuing the arts, the social sciences, and other fields. But we know statistically, and in terms of current registration levels, that we have a system that is upended too much in the humanities and social sciences, and inadequate in the engineering and technologies. This is a fact. And people shouldn't write horrible letters to me because I say that, because it's factual. So I do think we should foster, as you said, a better relationship. And it became very clear that we need to do this when we began to develop advanced manufacturing technologies, because then suddenly the question of ethics came up. Increasingly, for example, in reproductive health disciplines for women, questions about bioinformatics and bioengineering are coming up. If you use artificial intelligence in obstetrics operations, what are the risks to women? These are ethical questions, and you answer them by bringing in philosophy. So it's a multidisciplinary aspect. So I think you can achieve the kind of partnership and collaboration that you are speaking of. Any scientist today who thinks they must only be concerned about their particular field, they are mistaken, because science is so increasingly dependent on other fields of knowledge that you have to be multidisciplined in your approach.
Her wish for Africa extends beyond achievements in science. It's about creating a society that values collaboration, both within Africa and globally. She dreams of a nation that not only invests in its researchers, but also fosters stronger ties with the African diaspora, leveraging their expertise to build a prosperous and inclusive society. At the core of her vision is a desire to see Africa address the historical inequalities highlighted in the Kaplan Report by ensuring that marginalized communities have access to clean water, housing, electricity, and education, all supported by a robust science and technology system. For Pandor, this is not just a wish, but a call to action. Africa must rise to its potential and be the driving force behind Africa's scientific renaissance.
In novel areas such as genetics and women's health, particularly women's reproductive health, require increased support to help advance our development goals. I'm really happy that we do have a proactive leader in Minister Nzimande and in Deputy Minister Gina, and we have a department that is clued up on leadership in science, technology, and innovation. I hope they will have regard to my own interaction with university researchers and the concerns about loss of funds that I am being made aware of.
Now we know that leaders like NALEDI Pandor, with their wealth of experience, vision, and dedication, hold the key to addressing Africa's challenges and unlocking its vast potential. By leveraging their knowledge and influence, they can spearhead transformative initiatives that foster innovation, collaboration, and sustainable development across the continent. NALEDI Pandor has consistently emphasized the importance of building and sustaining robust institutions. Leaders like her can push for the establishment of world-class research centers, innovation hubs, and universities that focus on solving Africa-specific problems. Strong institutions form the backbone of scientific and technological advancement, enabling Africa to create homegrown solutions and reduce dependency on external aid. Fixing Africa indeed requires bold, visionary leadership, and NALEDI Pandor embodies the qualities needed to guide the continent toward a brighter future. By focusing on collaboration, innovation, and investment in human capital, leaders like her can transform Africa into a global leader in science and technology, ensuring a prosperous and sustainable future for generations to come. Do you think we need more people like NALEDI? Can they transform Africa? Let us know in the comment section. If the youth keep supporting and the officials keep working, how long will it take Africa to transform? Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If so, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the Black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious Blacks have been. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.